Hey y'all, welcome back to another zone of the political chop shop. Got another story coming at you here. Um, we've talked about for years about eugenics projects that's been happening in the country over the last little while, going back to Margaret Sanger, all of that, and we've also talked about hormone therapy for minors, right? Two of the biggest human rights violations of our lifetime, if not in forever, right? And we have still seen it happen even in the 21st century. So I'm going to start this story out with California, because California seems to be very egregious against human rights. They're like literally anti-human rights in many cases. You know, this stuff we've seen in communist countries that do things like this. So, let's jump into it just real quick here. Um, Out in California, if you guys remember this from a few years back, there were female inmates in California prisons that were being sterilized without consent. And apparently this had been happening for the last 20 some odd years in California. Before this, they passed this bill in California to, actually to, advise them what they're doing or make a choice on what they're doing. So we got that part taken care of. Even though I feel for the families and the females that were sterilized without knowing it by your California prison system. And hopefully there's actually still a case out there that they're suing the state for this. So we'll see how that eventually turns out. It's still, still in litigation right now. So we'll roll on to the present day. What we have here is a lawsuit of a 16-year-old boy forced by LA County Juvenile Hall Correction facility doctors to take estrogen as a behavior control medication. How scary is that? Like, how scary is that? I mean, let's look at the story. On June 7th, the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors voted on a new motion co-authored by Supervisors Mike Ridley Thomas and Janice Hahn that, when it passed early Tuesday afternoon, will reinstate the funding of the long-planned and much-anticipated Probation Oversight Commission, or POC, that was slashed at the week's meeting. So we won't go through the whole thing here, but we'll get through the meat and the potatoes here. On June 25th, just a little over a year ago, a 16-year-old boy, whom we'll call Javier, to protect his identity, has just been detained and sent to Central Juvenile Hall, one of the county's two remaining juvenile halls located northeast of downtown LA on Eastlake Avenue. At Eastlake, as the hall is often known, Javier was given a physical examination by some of the facility's medical personnel. According to the complaint, which I have here, we'll go over the complaint here in just a minute. During the June 25th exam, medical staff first administered a blood test, then a urine test. After a while, Dr. Danny Wang determined that Javier had slightly elevated testosterone levels. Javier was, after all, a teenager, which meant his hormones were likely to be bouncing quite a bit. But in Javier's case, the physician who examined him reportedly diagnosed him with oppositional defiance disorder, or ODD, then elected to prescribe an unusual form of medication with the idea that it would make the boy less aggressive. Right? And then this mumbo jumbo here. But we'll go down here a little bit. Let's see. And we'll get here with the diagnosis. In Javier's case, the medication was estradiol, which is a form of the female hormone estrogen that is most commonly used by women to help reduce symptoms of menopause. Wang reportedly prescribed 30 doses of the stuff to be taken daily, all without Javier's parents' knowledge or permission. Javier was reportedly given his first estrogen treatment in the form of 3 vaccinations. God have mercy. Let's look at the criminal complaint here against that's in the California Supreme Court right now. If we go down here, we'll look at the details real quick, y'all, and we'll get right into it. I'm scrolling too fast here. Here we go. Okay, facts of all the counts. The minor, through his guardian ad litem, hereby incorporates paragraphs 1 through 16. So here's the claim. On June 23rd, 2019, the plaintiff, 16 years old, male youth, was detained in custody and housed at all relevant times by the County of Los Angeles at the Eastlake facility. On the 25th, the minor was taken by the staff at the Eastlake Juvenile Hall to be medically examined, treated, and evaluated by doctors, nurses, etc. And the doctors, Dr. Wayne, Dr. O, etc. However, prior to the medical examination, treatment, and evaluation, neither of J.N.'s parents had ever provided their voluntary or informed consent for Javier to be medically examined, treated, or evaluated by doctors, nurses, etc. at the Eastlake Hall. On this date, the defendant's diagnosed with ODD, as we mentioned before, and which correlated to the elevated levels of testosterone and delinquency in male youths, as they claim. Science is bullcrap, if you ask me. But anyway, on both on June 25th and July 22nd, 2019, the county invasively drew, sampled, took, removed, and tested the minor's blood and urine from his body without obtaining his parents' informed consent. According to these blood and urine samples, confirmed that the minor had slightly elevated levels of testosterone. Now, you see here on the 25th, they prescribed estradiol to this individual without first obtaining the voluntary information. You guys can read this. I'll post this in the notes down in the bottom here just a little bit. But this is a huge problem. California's already had a problem, as you just seen previously with the previous prison issue with this. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, this is just insanity. The way these people want to just take control of your body because you're in custody, like you have no human rights, like you're a dog or something, or less than human if you're in jail, right? And you know, we're right now, we're still fighting with the fact that parents want to give their children hormone altering drugs, right? And the state, in this case, is just doing it willy-nilly just because they feel like they can do it. Especially something like this. You should be informing the parents of the of what's going on, or even get their consent in the first place. Now, the question is, how many children are going to step up and say they took this drug, or they've been given this drug unknowingly, and their parents are giving it to them unknowingly, think it's okay because doctors prescribe it. I mean, follow the science. Screw that. Medicine is a practice. That's what it is. It's a practice. But you still don't practice on people without consent. I mean, this is some psychosomatic BS. I mean, whatever happened to my body, my choice? Oh, wait, only if the government says so. Only if the government says so. Right? This is crazy. This is ultimately crazy. And my honest view is, I wonder how many states this is actually happening in right now. How many states are this happening in right now? You know? I mean, we already have a big enough problem with human trafficking through our state CPS systems. I mean, we just seen the pedophile ring just busted a couple of years ago down in Arizona, being pushed through the CPS system down there. I mean, how many kids are they pumping with hormones to calm them down because they're a little hyper and things like that? This is scary. This is really scary stuff. But you're not hearing about this in the media. You're hearing about it right here. You're hearing about it right here. All this. I mean, this is a crying shame what this is turning to. This is a crying shame. I mean, we have to protect our kids. Period. I don't care if it's your next door neighbor kid, your around the block neighbor kid in the next suburb over. We have to watch out for our children. And I know, we're supposed to mind our own business and things like that, but the way children right now are being treated by adults, they're sexualizing them, giving them hormones to either be to be male or female. I mean, we're at a dire point right now. They're literally trying to exterminate the human population by confusing these kids and changing their genders. I mean, this is where we're at. It's pretty sad that we have gotten here. And they got light years ahead of us in this game of this manipulation. If we're going to save America, I know we've come up with a lot of solutions on saving America, but really at this point, it's about saving humanity. At this point, it's about saving humanity, because I'm sure California is not a remote case. There's countries around the world where this is happening, and it's covered up with the human trafficking, the sex trafficking, all of that. I mean, if I can put it bluntly without getting banned on YouTube or Periscope, we are treating each other like the S word. We literally are, especially our children, and it has to stop. It has to stop. We need to step up and say something, be the defense for these children. Because if not, there will be nothing left. There will be nothing left. We will be pushed into extinction because of science and allowing kids under the age of 18 to choose what gender they are. Now, I know people are going to say, oh, you're probably transphobic, Rod, and all this. No, I'm not. But there is no way in hell we should be having children make delineations between their gender. We shouldn't. We should not be doing such a thing. We should be teaching them that it's okay to be who they are in the skin they're in. Now, once they turn 18, they want to change their sex, more power to them. More power to them. But this crap we're seeing right here out of California, literally just taking away the choice of a child that wants to maybe be a boy, but the kid growing breast tissue. Boy, I tell you, this is a mess, and we have to stop them. We have to stop them at all, by any means and all means necessary. We have to stop them. So that's all for me. I appreciate y'all tuning in real quick to this very crazy story of the state taking over, the state taking over a child's body and giving them estrogen without the parents' consent. I mean, this is just, it's sad. It makes my heart sad to hear, to talk about these things, because the children are our future. Isn't that what Whitney Houston said? The children are our future. But what future are they going to have if we keep confusing who and what they are? So again, appreciate y'all tuning in, all that good stuff. Make sure you subscribe to this channel on YouTube. If you're not following me here, make sure you follow me here and all that good stuff. And until next time, y'all, be easy, stay blessed, and we'll see you again in another video here real shortly.